One of the core skills we expect students in an introductory language class to learn is how to navigate geographic spaces. In this activity, students are given a map of a city and asked to describe to a partner the route they take to get from one location to another. Their partner then tells them where they just went. One popular way of enhancing classroom activities is to try and bring in authentic materials. Of course, if we really want to represent the authentic, everyday media youth today use for navigating geography, as many teachers independently exploring the use of Google Earth in their classrooms are finding, it can actually be a phenomenal pedagogical tool. At his site, juicygeography.co.uk, junior high teacher Noel Jenkins outlines 18 different activities for using Google Earth in the classroom. For example, in one activity, students are first given a seismographic map of San Francisco. Their task is to act as city planners to determine where the best location for a new hospital would be, taking into account the heavy seismic activity in San Francisco City. First, students are directed to watch news reports and explore primary seismic data to familiarize themselves with the nature of city planning and earthquakes. Next, they use a modified version of Google Earth to explore three-dimensional panoramas, watch live webcams, and view dynamic data overlays. After careful analysis of all the relevant data, they then construct a new hospital in their chosen location and write up a justification for their decision. The assignment is then assessed on the depth of thinking in their written report. While the San Francisco planning activity gets students to attentively watch newscasts, become intimately familiar with the city, read and analyze data, and write reports, ultimately, this is simply one of many activities designed by a teacher in his extra time, and only scratches the surface of how Google Earth could be extended. If we look outside of educational settings, at how entertainment developers are extending Google Earth, we can see that the possibilities are indeed limitless. For example, Google Earth enthusiast Mickey Mellon used modding tools and web programming components to create the online game Google Earth Wars. Here, thousands of players set up fictional bases on top of real satellite data of the Earth, competing to capture different key cities from one another. In this way, exploring and better understanding real-world geography becomes a natural skill gained while playing the fictional game. Similarly, many foreign language activities could be extended in the same manner. Let's consider this assignment. Here, students are to ask one another which quadrant of Germany a given city is in, then explain where that city is in relation to another city. Pedagogically, this assignment has two primary goals. First, to have students learn to communicate relative positions using cardinal and ordinal directions, and also to familiarize students with the locations of different cities in the target country. If we include the previous activity of giving directions from one location to another, we can add in a third goal of getting students to be able to describe different possible transportation routes. Our next step should be to identify an existing game mechanic that naturally requires players to use these skills in order to successfully solve problems. For example, one might think of the popular board game Scotland Yard. Here, a team of law enforcement players tries to hunt down a rogue criminal player by taking turns moving through the public transportation system of London, all the while comparing notes, collaborating, and trying to determine the criminal player's hidden location. Using the transportation data built into Google Earth, we could imagine a modified version in which 3 teams of players need to try to catch one of the other teams. Players would need to both describe possible transportation routes in the L2 in order to move their game piece, and be able to discuss relative positions in order to strategize with teammates.